You all for your short, brief introduction, right? So, as you have heard from everyone, so one way or other, we are all associated with heritage and its preservation and we all mentioned Bakaniniwa, right? So you must be wondering what that means. So Bakan means stories, and Niniwa means come. So Bakaniniwa altogether it means come listen to stories. So we started this as an initiative once we all met at our campaign to rebuild Kastamandap. That was after earthquake. And why we started Bakaniniwa, that means come listen to stories, is because we realized with every monument that we have here in Nepal and all over the world, there is some intangible part associated with that intangible monument. And so it's like a body. If there's no stories behind that monument, that means it's like a body without a soul, right? So only when the body and soul comes together, it becomes complete, right? And that's the thing that we realized from the campaign to rebuild Kastamandap. And just by building and rebuilding Kastamandap will not be enough. We have to do research and documentation of the stories of the communities, of the people that are associated with this monument, all the feasts and all the festivals, and all the pujas that we do. Right? So there are so many things that is associated with this monument. And so with this realization, we started Bakaniniwa. And another reason is also because since we have all moved towards technology, right? Now this 24th century, we have all become digital, and we have all become very associated with the technology part. And yeah, obviously that is a good part. But again, once we are all associated with this technology, and when we go very deep into it, so we have lost our we have lost that the touch that we used to have in the past days, when I think we can all associate it with our grandparents. They used to in the evening time, after dinner, they used to tell us stories of many myths, of many festivals, of many places, on different topics, and we used to really enjoy that. And when we hear stories from our grandparents, and so it also creates a bond between the grandparents and grandchildren, and that's how we remember our grandparents, right? But I think that bond has, that tradition, I would say, I think it has reduced a lot because of the technology. Because grandchildren, they are mostly into their own phones, and there's very little communication with their grandparents and also parents, right? So I think with this gap, there is also created this very big gap in passing down the oral history, oral stories. So we thought, I think we have to solve this problem. And we ideated it, and how could we do that? And we formed a team called Bakaniniwa, and then from there we started collecting all the stories as much as we can. Every month, I think we started with every month collecting one stories at a time, and we select our storyteller. We talk to him and her, and we choose a theme. And on the basis of that theme, and they tell us stories in a venue that we select. And we try to be very traditional when we are selecting the venue, and also the language that we choose. We let the storyteller choose the language of his or her own, because on the basis of how comfortable he or her feels when telling the stories. So that's how we have been doing. I think Rija, she can explain more about this.
Raz has already mentioned a lot about Bakaniniwa, how we started and how we conduct. And regarding the theme of the stories, we started from festivals, then we went to the stories of places. We went to different traditional settlements inside and outside nearby Kathmandu. So within the Kathmandu Valley, and two from outside Valley. the traditional Newari settlement stories we collected. Then we started the Karunamaya series, which is related with the Lord Karunamaya Avalokiteshwar. So it is related with Hinduism and Buddhism itself. So this is our we have conducted in different places, and this was our 9th episode or 10th? Sixth episode of Karunamaya series. The last you attended that series, and there are lots of different forms of Karunamaya. So they are located in different places, and we are collecting stories from different places on the Karunamaya series. Besides that, we are also working on the festival part, Indra Jatra, which is one of the biggest festival in Kathmandu. So we are starting we are also doing it parallelly, the Indra Jatra series, where we are collecting stories which are related to the dances, different rituals, and different art form within the Indra Jatra. So that's what we are doing at the moment. Further?
So as we went on collecting stories, what we realized that only collecting stories is not enough. We have to disseminate it to the larger population. So we tried doing YouTube. We tried editing the videos, and we've published 3 stories in YouTube. But after that, we were not able to, because we are all in different professions, right? We're not giving our full time to Bakhanya Newa, so it has been a bit of a struggle to finish the other stories. But then during the lockdown, we had been thinking about publishing a book for a long time, but we hadn't had the time. So the lockdown became the perfect time to start on that. So we started with our book, our first book, which was based on the first story that we collected. So that has been published. It's a children's book, illustrated children's book. And we're planning to do more, because it was a very positive feedback from all the readers we got. So yeah, so that's what we're currently working on 2 more storybooks. We're also planning to, this is a very initial phase of planning maybe a mobile app, where we can, children can come and listen to the stories of their traditions, or make it as interactive as possible. I don't know. We're just in the very initial phases of discussing about it. So that's what maybe we're planning next.
So like people come over here, like for example, you're a scholar, and over here people are always stunned because we're not speaking Nepali, but we are speaking Newari language. And like for yourself, who came and tried to search about what is Buddhism or what is Hinduism, and you literally were profound of what you found, right? And similar way, like when we grew up as well, for me, when my dad is a Hindu and my mom is a Buddhist, and you don't know about that, right? And we are only ticking the box Hindu or Buddhist and all that. But more you grow, like you realize that, hang on a minute, I am both. Why have to tick the boxes like it's Hindu and Buddhist? I'm both, right? And so normally when I in a form, I write it both, and people don't understand, but I just make a box and put it both. And probably, this is, we cannot actually explain this. And so further that, we have so many festivals over here, and we have been collecting footages, and I've been collecting footages. So as a part, whenever I was thinking, I used to do my grandmother's stories and put it in YouTube. So when we were formed as a Bakhania, and the footages that I collected came in handy so much. As a promotion, I used to always put a little bit of footage that I had collected, compiled it, and went with our stories. So that way, it gave a purpose for a photo and videography documenting as well. Otherwise, you just take a photo, video, and you post it, and it doesn't make sense, you know. And I think we are in a level where we are like getting the standards high about collecting the footage, collecting all the festivals, and placing them according to the stories and relating those stories with the videos and footages. So that's how we are also growing, and I think we need to do that because the development and growth of this community is such a vast that everybody's going out, everybody is like scattered around the globe. So we are trying to reach that audience through an app as well now. So we are moving forward that way.
We started as volunteers, and I think as Ashwinda he mentioned, we are not full into it. So we all have our own profession, our own jobs, and so we mostly give our time. We put aside a time for this initiative, and so we started in Bakhaniniwa, I think in 2017. As a voluntary group and some passionate people who gathered around and who took this initiative. And now we are a registered not-for-profit organization now, and after, so I think we have come a very long way from starting as a voluntary group to a non-profit organization, and from collecting the first footages to publishing the first book. And we have more plans in the future, like as Soilis and my other teammates they mentioned. We also planning to develop a mobile app which would help us share those stories and to larger audiences. As we said, the Nepalese diaspora is all around the world now, right? And all those parents, they want to they have a very hard time telling how Nepal is, how Kathmandu is, the stories with related to Nepal and Kathmandu. And so I think we believe that this with the help of technology we cannot completely avoid technology. So I think with the blend of technology and our tradition, I think we can share and we can help these stories reach to that audience, our target audience. And I think also the first thing that we did in our lockdown is we took the initiative to print the book. So starting from and transcribing the stories to doing the animation, illustration, and then publishing it. It was a learning journey for all of us because it was the first time for all of us. It was completely new. So we were a bit hesitant in the beginning, but somehow we did it, and we got a very good response. And from that, I think, and after that, we have also worked with other non-profit organizations and other municipalities, and now we have I think started another one project with the Kathmandu municipality. So they have recognized us and they have given a project, and so we are currently working on that. And also we will also be publishing a book on this project. And so far it has been very amazing journey being here. And Dr. Lee, yes, he has been very supportive, and I think the thing that I'm doing right now, I think I would give her a very big credit because of her, because of her workshop and because of her support. I think I've come so far, I would say, personally. So thanks to Dr. Lee.